But another thing that I can't wait for is this steel cage between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. It's going to be on the USA Network premiere of Friday Night SmackDown. We're going to get a WWE title matchup again in a steel cage match. That's 2 cage matches in pro wrestling in a week span. Cody versus Solo, it is the right call. One of my main concerns was that we were going to get that matchup at Bad Blood. And I really don't want to see that as a PLE. I think there's other wrestlers that could have an opportunity in that type of a matchup, especially because we've already seen Solo versus Cody in a PLE. I would have preferred Kevin, and I know that might be, contradictory because we just saw Kevin Owens against Cody, but it's just I feel like there's a much more richer story when it comes to that. Cody becoming too involved with the bloodline. I'm not saying I'm tired of it, but I could see it becoming an issue down the line where it's just not as interesting as it should be, right? I like the idea of a cage match. As I mentioned on last week's video after SmackDown, you could have implemented the whole bloodline as barred from ringside type of deal, but it had been so long since we've seen a cage match on Friday Night SmackDown that I'm glad we're going to be getting that. I'm obviously predicting a Cody victory. I don't see in any world that Solo wins that title, at least in this iteration of his character. I think he's still deeply involved with the bloodline and Roman Reigns and what's going on there. So Cody Rhodes should get the victory, hopefully clean. That way he can pay back Solo for pinning him at Money in the Bank. But Solo Sikoa is also an interesting character to keep up with. We watched on SmackDown this past week. Cody Rhodes wanted to give away another title opportunity, except he wasn't speaking to Solo. He was talking to Jacob Fatu. And I thought that was very interesting. It showed that Cody is well aware of how the bloodline hierarchy works. We saw when Roman Reigns was the tribal chief, or rather, he is the tribal chief, but when he was the leader of the bloodline, I should say. We saw how that self-doubt, that insecurity would creep in every now and then when a guy like Jey Uso or Sami Zayn would get the attention of the audience or seek out that type of praise. Solo Sikoa, in the same vein, you can see the way he looked at Jacob Fatu when he approached the ring, as if, really, you're going to accept this title match. But don't just focus on Solo, focus on Jacob. Because keep in mind with Jacob Fatu, he arrived on the scene in June. We're now in the middle of September, approaching October. And he's already done so much in terms of character work, in terms of building up his equity. He's become one of the high-profile superstars in the WWE. He's become must-see every single time you see the Samoan Werewolf on TV. He won the Tag Team Championships alongside Tama Tonga. And what happened shortly after? Solo Sikoa requested that he relinquish that title and award it to Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga, who wasn't even in the match to win that title. Jacob Fatu had to give up a championship that he had won, that he had earned in such a short time. And then fast forward, the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, issues a challenge. Basically is welcoming Jacob Fatu into the ring to receive a WWE title opportunity this early in his young career. And Solo Sikoa gives him the look and basically, without saying anything, tells him, no, you don't. No, what are you doing? Asking Jacob, not even asking, ordering Jacob to step aside. This is not your title opportunity, it's mine. Jacob Fatu doesn't seem like the type to forget that. He did tell Solo, and I love when he yells and exclaims at Solo, I love you, Solo. I love you, my tribal chief. I love that. Little stuff like that just gets me popping. I don't think we're going to, move past that. That might be brushed off to the side for a little bit. But down the line, don't be surprised if Jacob Fatu, very similar to how Dave Bautista in 2005, betrayed Triple H after winning the Royal Rumble, after taking so much verbal abuse and emotional abuse, betrayed Triple H. Don't be surprised if Jacob Fatu does the very same thing to Solo Sikoa. Keep an eye out on that. As well as Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, because Paul Heyman from the get-go told Solo, these Tongans cannot be trusted. They're a menace. These guys cannot be controlled. They cannot be led. They are, loose cannons, to take a phrase from Brian Pillman Sr. They're loose cannons. Don't be surprised if they end up betraying Solo Sikoa. And then what happens? Because he's already alienated the Usos and Roman Reigns. Should be amazing television, I'm telling you. And that's still on the build to WrestleMania.